Okay.
All right, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining. Um, I hate to say, but this is my last webinar for at least the next couple months. We're going to take a little summer break. I know I'm so sad too, but we're going to come back in the fall. So we're going to go out with a bang with Miss Paula and the Moorings. I wore my mooring shirt. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I wore my mooring
There
shirt
it is.
today. So we're just gonna kind of kill a little bit of time, let your colleagues come in because you guys are popping in one after the other. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you have been here before, then I'm sure you know who I am. I'm Kay Milliner Kitchens, and we are here for the Task webinar series today with the Moorings, nothing less than the Moorings. This is a special product because it's actually one of my accounts. So I'm happy to bring it to you and to introduce you guys to Paula Carvalho. She is going to give you everything you need to know about selling a moorings charter. So if this is an area that you've always been curious about, you're getting requests, but you don't know what to do, where to go, how to start, then this is the perfect webinar for you. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with a lot of the information that Paula is going to share today. So just a few housekeeping notes before we jump in. Everybody is muted. We can't see you. So if you have to have a side conversation, you got some business calls pop up, it's fine. You're not disturbing anything. So feel free there. If you look at the handouts section, if you click on handouts, we have provided several really good items for you that I really want to encourage you to go ahead and download. There's going to be information there on some of our June promotions that we have, and Paula's going to dig a little bit deeper into those into the presentation. And then we also have a PDF on all your BDMs. So with the moorings, we work in different sections of the United States. So depending upon where you are based, you have a different BDM for each section. So that's there for you as well to keep on hand. And then we had something else. Oh, information on pricing. So Paula's going to get into that as well so you can understand better our pricing structure and understand how affordable it really is for a lot of your clients. So all that information is there. Feel free to download it, keep it, save it. It's good. I know the pricing at least through 2026. So you can use that to really make some good decisions for your clients into next year. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the floor over to Paula Carvalho. What's your title, Paula? What should we call you?
Sales advisor for the Americas is what's on my cards and signature.
Okay, we'll go with that. She's the sales advisor. So she is my go-to. I call her Google because every time I have a question about the moorings, Paula is the first person I go to, and she always has an answer. So she is my personal Wikipedia when it comes to the moorings. So if you can't get in touch with
Hopefully
me and
today
you are in
too.
the, say it again.
Hopefully today too.
Yes, yes. Because I am the Southeast rep. So if you're not in the Southeast, you have your reps on that sheet. But just know Paula is also a great resource as well as you are building your quotes for your clients and have any additional questions you want to get answered for your clients. So Paula, I'm going to turn it over to you and take it away.
Thank you so much, Kay. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. I appreciate your time. Like Kay said, we have quite a bit to navigate to today. So let's go ahead and get right through it. But I hope that today you leave not only more confident about selling yacht charters, but a lot more excited about selling the Moorings Yacht Charters. So allow for a couple of seconds of technology while I set up for the presentation. Sorry. One more time. Okay, and now you should see the presentation. Kay, are you able to confirm that really quick?
Yes, we do see it.
Okay, fabulous. So again, welcome aboard everyone to the Moorings Yacht Charter Vacations. Now, before we dive even deeper into the moorings itself, I want to take a few steps back and just revisit what is a yacht charter vacation. I'm sure within the last few years, most of you have gotten familiar, a little bit of understanding, if not all of you. But it's still, if it's not something you've worked with, sold, experienced, you probably don't have the confidence to sell it, understandably so, or the excitement. But to help simplify that a little bit, hopefully, take it back to you're still selling what you know what to sell. You're selling gorgeous, breathtaking destinations. You're selling unforgettable moments that your clients will cherish for the rest of their lives. You're selling luxury, top luxury. So now we just add all of that onto a yacht charter. So, additional to this, we also have something a lot more flexible and customizable based on their interests, their time, their travel plans altogether, something a lot more private and exclusive as well. Now, why choose the Moorings as your client's brand for yacht charter vacation? We have been pioneering this industry since 1969 when we started the concept of yacht charters. Additional to these top highlights here, what I really like to emphasize and think it's an important takeaway is the operated 100% by the Moorings. So we never outsource or broker for any of our charters. That means you're booking with the Moorings team, you're booking the Moorings boats. They're all privately owned by the Moorings. You're booking the Moorings operations. So it's our staff, it's our customer service, and it's always the Moorings standard that you can expect. So just an extra reassurance and confidence that you have when quoting and selling this product to your clients, that again, it's always at that 5-star standard that the Moorings expects. So the understanding the styles of charter here, I think what's helpful to also understand is the headline words. These are kind of the words that we'll reference when you're in the yacht charter world industry, especially when quoting with the Moorings. So the bareboat is a self-charter. This means your clients have experience, they are boaters, they are sailors, they want to be their own captain. We have this available in all of our destinations, and it 100% requires experience. So this starts with an online questionnaire. So pretty much a CV or resume that they have to fill out based on their experience. And from there, they will be able to see what destinations and boat sizes they're pre-qualified for. Now, the skippered option is for those that don't have any experience, or maybe those that do but don't want to be their captain. So they now have one of our captains on board taking care of the safety and navigation of the vessel. But as you see, something still more a la carte when it comes to the onboard inclusions as far as provisions, housekeeping, and things like that. Now, flotilla, by definition, is just a group of yachts sailing together. And this is helpful for you to see here because a takeaway, which we'll visit again later, our max capacity is going to be an 8 to 10 range. So if you have a group that's larger than that, we're automatically looking at a tandem charter, which is maybe going to be 2, 3, maybe 5, 6, depending how large the group size is, number of boats. So by default, you're creating a little flotilla. So again, just an additional verbiage for you to understand the product altogether. Now the power, excuse me, is available in all the categories that we see here. The only difference is these are power catamarans, where we have, sail and power catamarans. Again, we'll learn about that more later as well, and sail monohulls. But this is just an addition where if your clients are more about the speed as well and kind of want to do even more, then the powers may be the option that we can start looking at. The crude is our ultimate luxury. It is an all inclusive experience, captain and chef on board, all their meals, open bar, water toys, customized itinerary and menu. The clients will fill out preference forms when they confirm this charter. Within the week of their embarkation, the crew will reach out to the clients directly review those forms, and then start discussing their tailored menu and itinerary from there. Now, I say ultimate luxury. This is not to take away from any of the other ones that are still extremely luxury as well. The yacht charter experience in itself is going to be a luxurious experience. The crude is just, again, the ultimate because it is that top tier, all inclusive on board.
And then Paula, let me ask you
Mhm.
real quick. Of those options, would you say
Yes.
the crude is the most popular one?
That is a great question. For the most part, in the advisor world, yes, the crude is the most popular. That said, the skippered option is right behind their catching up. So just not just as popular, but again, it's just as luxury, so it's a bit more flexibility. I like to compare here. Well, I'll compare it later a bit more the products with the inclusions because then you'll have a better understanding as well which client fits which portfolio.
Right.
So this is just, I think, helpful for you to understand altogether, about the brand and our portfolio. Within the 50 years, we have expanded globally into almost 20 different destination departures. We did start in Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. That is still today our flagship destination where we have the biggest fleet. We have our own, not only marina, but hotel, provision store. Tortola is the biggest one. But today, altogether, we're focusing on chartering in the Caribbean. So these are just really quick, have in your pocket, if you will, takeaways about our Caribbean charters. So as you see here, they are year-round destinations. You can quote them any time of year, with the exception of St. Martin and Antigua, that the charters are closed on the peak summer months of October and September. Now, the peak season altogether is end of the year for the festive holidays, which, if you go to the next level, that means peak season will have a 7 night minimum. For the most part, it is a 5 night minimum. If you do have a request that's 3, maybe 4 nights, still send it our way. Depending on availability and demand, we may accommodate those, usually when they're more last minute. But if it's a half day, a day, 2 night, it's just really beyond our portfolio. And again, crew charter capacity is 8 passengers. So always when thinking of the moorings, if they're wanting a crew on board, 8 passengers with the exception of the British Virgin Islands. So if they want that all inclusive, and then if they are looking at the skippered or bare boat, we may go up to that 10 passenger capacity depending on the boat layout as well. But again, in your pockets when you are wanting to sell this destination, or excuse me, this product to your clients, or when they inquire as well. So I touched really quick on the customization of this product. And as you see here, we have suggested itineraries for all of our destinations. This is from our St. Lucia base. We have, just for comparison here, a 14 night and a 6 night. In the 14 nights, one goes down to Grenada, visits all of the Grenadines, Tobago Keys, and back up to St. Lucia, doing about 9 islands in all of that time frame. And the other one, 6 nights, goes up to Martinique and then back to St. Lucia. So a completely different experience that one would have. Just going back to why it's not set itineraries and the customization that the guests can have based on their interests, their time of charter, and of course, the weather. Now, these pictures are from my personal trip in St. Lucia. Top of there is when we were about to anchor at the Pitons. This gorgeous turtle is at the Tobago Keys. And this split island image is from Mairo, which to me was just gorgeous, very unique and kind of new, if you will. But to really give you a warm welcome, here is our base manager from St. Lucia.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I'm the base manager for the Moorings St. Lucia. I've been with the company for as long as I know, 30 odd years. Love working with the company, love the boats especially, and love the clients. St. Lucia is very unique in its own way. Our anchorages are beautiful, good snorkeling, clear blue water, white sandy beach, you name it. There's no reason why anybody should come here and regret it. It's a lovely destination. Customers will expect the warmest welcome. Hi, welcome to the Moorings. At the base, we will do the spectacular welcome and get them to the boat, do the boat shows, do the briefings, make sure the stuffs are ready on board, and just drop the lines and set them out on the water to have a good vacation. In the marina, we have amazing amenities that you may need. We already set up for your journey. Just think about it and we have it. We have a pool next to our office where you can jump in while you wait for your boat. We have about 7 restaurants, a local market. Every Saturday it's really big, but every day there's a small local market that you can buy fresh produce. We just have everything that you need to set you on your journey. Working with the company is amazing. It's great. The customers, having them returning, some of them personally ask for me and they remember when they come back, hi, welcome home. I just tell them, welcome home.
I love seeing those videos. They are
I
so
know.
lovely, lovely.
It
And
gets me emotional.
you said something earlier, and I get questioned about it a lot. And just to re-emphasize, so when it comes to the itineraries, we just give you a suggested itinerary. You can really
Correct.
go anywhere you want to within the sailing grounds, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we have a few suggested itineraries for all of our destinations. As you see here, Bahamas comparison from our Exumas, Nassau departure. For all of the destinations, we also have electronic guides that will highlight these islands, but also different islands that might not be necessarily on the suggested itinerary. It will go into detail as far as amenities, what's available, what they can do. It will touch on the distances as well from the islands. So the information will be plentiful where the client can literally, I mean, virtually, if you will, immerse themselves in the destination and really get a feel of what they're going to get to experience. Now, this said, the big added value as well is when they have a skipper or a crew because the guests don't know what they don't know. So as a charter develops, as they get to know each other, there might be new ideas that come along that they would have not even thought of before, both on both sides, the guests and the crew, because it was just not brought up, it was not in the preference forms. So again, it's really customizable, like you said, within the cruising rounds. Their time of charter and the weather are pretty much the biggest restrictions that they will have.
I think one of the best stories about that is when we were all down in the British Virgin Islands, and we knew we wanted to go to the baths, and the skipper was like, "Okay, now if you want to go and beat the crowd, you've got to go by this time on this day." And we made it over there, and it was just such a beautiful experience to be there. And I'm from St. Thomas. I've gone to the baths before, but to be there before everybody else gets there, it's just a wonderful. It's a great backstage pass to the destination because you're not with the crowd. You're doing your own thing, and you're really getting to see it from a different vantage point.
No, absolutely, 100%. And the BVIs is another great example to really emphasize this customization and the flexibility altogether. For even if you have two identical groups, or excuse me, identical dates as far as they're going for the same nights, the same exact dates, and the same product, we'll call it crude. One is a group of 3 couples in their late 40s or late 60s. The other one is a couple with kids, let's say from 13 through 3 to 13. They're for sure going to go to the baths. The baths is just a must stop in the BVI itinerary for anyone that's visiting. But the group of adults might be a little bit more adventurous and might, get there really early because they want to come in through the water and swim in. It does require a little bit, of swimming. It's a bit of a distance where for the kids that might not be ideal, especially with a little one of 3. So the family might choose to do it the land routes and come up through the top of the baths and do the hike that way. So it just goes to show where there, we can't really set an itinerary because everyone is just going to have a completely different interest and expectation. And that is one of the uniquenesses that the yacht charter is able to give and bring to the clients.
We have a couple of questions, Paula.
Mhm.
Now, I know Miss Renee is giving a little joke, but she said, is swimming with the pigs included? So maybe just touch on, I mean, we're talking about the baths, but just how open it is to being able to hook into other activities and attractions that are going on. Because one of the things
Oh,
too,
yeah.
that people feel like you're locked onto the boat. And it's like, no, you can go on
Mm-mm.
shore and do whatever you want to. So yeah, let's maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the boat is also more the transportation and accommodation, if you will. You know, it can also be the restaurant if it is an all inclusive. So you're having the meals, but the charter is on land, is on sea, is the activities. So, absolutely, just from my personal experience, when we did the Exuma's charter, we just anchored up and swam up to the islands with the piggies. Dinghied up. I'm sorry. We did not swim up, but we just dinghied to the island and played with the piggies. We went off season, so that was great as well because we got there. We were the first ones, the only ones, and then two other boats did come, or like groups going again to show the exclusivity of a yacht charter because it was two separate groups. You know, maybe I don't know if it was from a hotel that came, you know, different parties together. And then we just got there with our three boats, our tandem little flotilla. And like I said, dinghied up. I can even share some pictures as follow up. But to your point, Kay, you know, all of the activities are also, you know, if they're going to do actual excursions and distillery tours and things like this, then the cost is not included. But going ashore, enjoying the destination and the water activities, 100% that is part of it.
Miss Alexis is asking, and I know we touched on it, but maybe just really quickly again, the minimum itinerary length.
So 5 nights is the minimum for all the destinations. 7 night is minimum during the peak season, which is festive end of year.
Okay. Miss Deborah is asking if we can overnight in any port in the British Virgin Islands.
There are some restricted areas as far as, you know, Necker Islands that are private. Those are off, you know, those you cannot. But other than that, absolutely. Yeah. If they're looking to dock or go to a marina, that's of course always going to be an additional cost to the charter. For the most part, in the British Virgin Islands, they are doing mooring balls. Those tend to be an average cost of about $40 a night. And of course, there's some areas that they can anchor as well, and that's always free. But unless it's a private island or marina, they are absolutely able to go to.
Last question, peak season. When is peak season?
So it's the end of year festive. It usually starts as far as, you know, within our terms and conditions for promos, minimum of nights, around mid-December to early January. So around the 14th through the 5th tends to be the time frame.
Okay, awesome.
Well, and just really quick, a few highlights on the BVIs if you're not familiar. With the itinerary questions, that was a great segue. So the moorings I like to classify as affordable luxury. Going back to you already selling beautiful destinations, you already selling luxury. Once you look at the cost, these are also costs that you are already selling, especially when you compare you know, your apples to apples as far as experiences with all inclusive and things like this. Our crude charter, again, is our all inclusive. It is a captain and chef on board. all their meals. Like I said, they're going to fill out their preference forms so that the menu and itinerary is customized based on that. Not included in these costs is the gratuity, transfers, and docking. We do help with the transfers. It's just additional to this. Now, once we break it down, this is where it's important to highlight or for you to understand. We price per boat and not per person. So this is a max occupancy of 8 passengers that this boat was quoted for 7 nights. So we do have a 5-night minimum. Most guests do 7 nights. So these average costs are for 7 nights up to 8 passengers. As you can see, even in the peak of peak season, the daily average cost per person is less than $1,000. Now, the skipper charters, just breaking down the inclusions, because like I said, it's a bit more a la carte. The skipper is there as a captain, handling the safety and navigation of the vessel, helping, customize that itinerary as they go throughout the charter, but no other services are included from the skipper. So this is where I mentioned earlier, a good comparison is if housekeeping is something that your guests really want to have on board, and provisions as far as, meals prepared and alcohol included, then definitely the crude product is for them. The skipper is excellent when the clients are already more interested in going to specific restaurants, eating ashore, and having that local dining on land experience. So that's where this is a great luxury product for them, because then they can, a little provision items for snacks, whatever they want on board. They can buy their own drinks. Like I said, housekeeping and meals is the big difference. But even as you see here, the per average rates up to 8 passengers for 7 nights on a per person daily cost, is less than $650. And who better to tell you what an awesome experience with the skipper is than one of our skippers himself?
I'm Hubert, and I'm the skipper for the Moorings. I tell people I work in the business of helping people to enjoy life. I've been a captain for 25 years. It's a long story. I just wanted to be on a yacht, and I started cleaning boats, and then I get really interested in boats, did courses, being a diesel mechanic. So I understand how things work on a boat before I become a captain. So I got some advantage, But I love everything about it. When you come sailing with Captain Hubert, let me tell you, you're going to be fishing. You're going to be doing so many things. I'm going to push you to do snorkeling, whatever you want to do. I'm going to push you to the limit to make sure that when you go back, you want to come back. Of course, I love being out there. Even if I'm traveling on the sea by myself, I'm just so happy. I'm so joyful. And I'm married to the water.
I truly get emotional with these. So when it comes to the yachts themselves, this is where I hope to simplify it even more for you, because we have a standardized fleet globally. So you don't really have to understand boats, you don't really have to understand yachts. When you come with us with a group size and a destination, then we're already going to have certain options. But when I say a matched fleet, let's say your guests, your clients go with us to the British Virgin Islands. It's that family of 6. They feel really comfortable with the size and layout that they picked. Now they're going to charter with us in St. Lucia. Well, we have that same model that they can all experience. So going back to an extra familiarity that they have with the brand, that extra reassurance of the standards. So that is a match fleet globally. We, of course, don't have all those models and all the destinations, but it's the same models when we do. The yachts are dedicated to their bases, so we don't move them around to accommodate charters or when the season changes. And as you see here, they are all retired at a fairly young age for a boat, but just making sure we're maintaining that 5-star standard of the moorings.
Can I jump in with,
Please.
oh, well, you know what? Let me let you talk about the boat since it's up there.
Well, this model here is the one we saw the average prices on just a couple slides ago. This one we have in a 5 and 4 cabin layout. So again, it's that scenario that is accommodating either 8 or 10 with a crew needs. But the boats, like I said, are going to be the same model. So an extra reassurance or immersive experience that you and your client can have. We have these virtual tours for all of our boats. Online, you can quote unquote hop on board, go check out the layout, go check out the cabins. We also have detailed specs for all of the yachts. So if knowing the size of the beds, the fridges, all of that is of importance. Sometimes for the bareboaters, everything as far as equipment, we have all of that listed. We have Cruising World is a great partner of us. They do a very detailed walkthrough of all of our new models. Those videos are available on YouTube at any time. So again, it will still be a very virtually immersive experience that the guests will be able to see and get a feel of how the life is going to be on board. But something really special about the Leopard catamarans that we exclusively work with is that they are built to be a live aboard feel. So pretty much you're home on the water. It's a very modern design, comfortable design, upgraded features, walkthroughs. So a very, again, sophisticated and safe way of cruising and experiencing a yacht.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, okay, we've got a couple questions.
Yes.
And I'll start with an accolade from Miss Mary Linda Ramos. She said, I bareboat chartered with the Moorings in the BVI a while back, including
I love
Encanada.
it.
I used to teach sailing and had the hours for a captain's license. The Moorings was fabulous. I would recommend a crew charter for novice beginners, captained if you're willing to help crew and bareboat, if you are an experienced sailor with multi-day distance experience. So,
ooh, love it. Thank you.
So, okay, we got a lot of questions. So let me try to jump in here. Miss Joanne is asking if it's a crew charter, how many crew are there, and they are above and beyond and are they above the 8 guest capacity?
So no, the max capacities that I reference is always inclusive, either crew or again, able to include a skipper. The crew is always a captain and chef duo. They together will also take care of other services on board, like that bit of concierge, the housekeeping, bartending, but always a captain and chef duo.
Okay. Mr. Kenneth is asking if captains are available in all of the destinations that we charter.
Yes, we have skippered options in all of the destinations that we offer. Crewed option is in select destinations.
Okay. Miss Jackie, and I'm glad she's asking this because we saw it in the video. She's asking, how do the tenders work? What's the cost to ensure a tender is available when needed?
So it's included with all of our charters, regardless if they're doing bareboat, skippered, power, flotilla, crewed. If it's a tandem charter, each boat gets a dinghy, so that's always included. The captain and the crew will take care, or the crew will take care of that navigation as well. On a bareboat, of course, the clients do.
So it is your SUV while you are on your vacation. So you have a SUV limo driver for your big boat and for your dinghy. So you don't have to worry when you want to come in. We got you covered on that.
Pretty much, yeah, more like your RV with then
okay.
your on the side van or car.
Exactly. Miss Renee is asking about scuba divers. Do we get a lot of scuba divers who book charters?
We do, yeah, especially in destinations like Tahiti, Belize. Now, scuba is never included in the charter. We don't offer any type of classes or courses or anything like that. But if the guests are certified and they're coming for a charter, then absolutely they'll be able to organize that with local scuba companies. We'll have recommendations for that as well. But yeah, if they're certified, then absolutely.
A couple of questions about the gratuities.
Mm.
What are they?
So on the crude charter, let me go back because that might be more helpful as well. So on this, well, this one's going to be a little bit trickier because the skipper cost is built in this average rate here. But for skipper charter, we recommend 20% of the skipper rate. And once you are quoting, booking, invoicing, all of these rates are going to be broken down. I would say per week to add a skipper, an average around 2,500. So again, 20% off that. And of the crude charters, we recommend 20% of the total cost. This then gets divided in between the crew itself. And these are always cash or personal checks only.
Okay. Miss Lori is asking she said, I understand the festive dates of mid-December through the first week of January. Are there specific dates for high, shoulder, and low season?
No, not necessarily. It's just kind of how the demand, booking window, availability tend to play out for these destinations. But that's why they're, minimum 5 nights and how the average rates were broken down to help you.
Okay, so last question before we keep going. Miss Meredith is asking, so if she does a crew charter to the BVI, the maximum guests is 8.
BVI is the only exception in all of our destinations that we can accommodate 10 passengers with a crew.
Okay.
BVI only. All other destinations, yes, 8 passengers max with a crew.
All right.
Okay. Oh, well, booking process, just as easy as everything else. Pretty much this is all we would need for a custom quote. You have a dedicated support team. So when you're calling the moorings, you have that, dedicated line and email for general questions, for inquiries, for quotes. Now, of course, throughout the quoting process, even if you go online right now, we have the cancellation policy already, available, the whole contract, but there have been some recent changes to it, which is why I just wanted to include it in the presentation today. Now, going back to, or continue on, I guess, with your support team, like Kay mentioned earlier, we have a full covered US team. We also have a global BDM team here to fully support you. I myself, like Kay said, just as available. My contact will be at the end so that you can also have, but we're here to support you. We really want you to have that confidence and excitement to sell this product. So if it's something that you want to promote, but you're not really sure how, let's have that conversation. What is it, specific clients that you're thinking of? Then maybe we can look at specific destinations to recommend based on where they have traveled before or their interests. If it's a time frame or a budget, all of this can come into play that we can, help provide you with materials as well, collateral, and we're here to support.
And I would also just throw in there too, all of your BDMs, like she said, we're all here to assist and to give you any guidance. And then if you do want to quote the moorings, it costs you nothing to get a quote. So after this presentation, if you think you have clients and you're in the Southeast, Northeast, Midwest, West Coast, you have your reps here, just shoot us an email. We can get you a quote in 24 hours or less. So just reach out. It doesn't hurt to just get a quote, and we're happy to do it for you. And then we pair you with an inside sales professional that will carry your booking from beginning to end. So you're not alone in not just building the quote, but assisting your clients as their travel window gets closer and closer. So we're here to help.
Absolutely. And going into that point where, you should be quoting, taking advantage as well, showing your clients the offers, the savings that they can have. right now for last minute departures if they're looking at, or even into end of 2026. So we're looking at 5, 10, 20% savings that they can have. Our offers do change monthly. Sometimes we might have some ongoing, but that's why it's just important that if you do see that availability and that pricing that you, the client, everyone's really happy with, then definitely make that deposit. Pricing and availability are, pricing is dynamic. Pricing and availability always subject to change prior to a deposit. Now, an added value of working with you, the advisor, is you are able to put, the word just escaped me. We're able to hold a quoted option for your clients for longer than if they were quoting direct. So just again, keep that in mind, that if that is a good availability and pricing to kind of jump on it. All of these offers do have to be booked by June 30th, but they're also combinable with our 5% loyalty, which was one of the reasons why booking with the Moorings, because we do have a loyalty program that if your client charters with us the first time, they now qualify for a 5% discount when they come back and charter with us in any destination, as long as it's 5-night minimum. And with that, thank you so much again for your time. I'll give you a couple of seconds to, if you want to capture contact information, but this is all going to be available to you anyway. But this is also live proof that those St. Lucia pictures were my pictures, because here's the other angle from the pitons.
And I mean, that's a beautiful sight. The pitons.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what a hike. It was a hike.
You did it? You hiked the pitons too?
I did it from sea level all the way to the top. And it was by far one of the most physical, enduring things that I've done. I was so proud of myself. I did almost give up, but the friend I was with pushed me to it, and don't regret it at all. I tap on the back for doing it.
God bless you, honey. God bless you. Okay. So we have some more questions. Let's hop to them real quick. We talked about the tenders with so Miss Alexis is asking, with 5 rooms on board accommodating 8 guests, are couples the biggest market that we cater to?
Not necessarily. We see quite a bit of families as well, multi-gen fams, small kids. That's kind of why I did that comparison scenario as well, because that's kind of what we see the most. Families with children, whether they're small kids or teenagers, or even, as they call them, kids, college too. Yeah. And then the groups of couples.
Okay, Miss Courtney, this is a good question. If there are only 4 passengers, would you be combined with another group, and then if so, would you still pay the full price cost?
Yes. So we never combine. It's always a private rental, private yacht charter. So yes, they would be paying for the full yacht. And if it's a 2-couple scenario, then they would probably be looking at more like a 45-foot. It has overall 4 cabins. So there would be an extra cabin as far as price breakdown. But yes, so that's the scenario. We never combine. It's always a private charter.
Okay, a question about transfer and docking fees. Just what are they?
So that varies completely by destination as well as by boat. So that's why especially docking is also not included in the crude product, because it's very based on that preference and budget. And average cost can be, depending on season, marina, boat size, vary anywhere from 75 to 300 plus. So that's why, docking is really that guest preference, and if they want to. And transfers, again, just cost varies quite a bit. We are able to help pre-organize though, but payment will always be made on site. We're able to get that pricing information ahead of time. It's just, again, it's different for all the destinations. So if you're quoting one specific, we're able to provide that information.
Also a question about, I know you already discussed about the peak versus shoulder, but there wouldn't be any information available on that on the website.
What do you mean?
She wants to know, is there a general list of dates for peak versus shoulder in the British Virgin Islands?
Oh, no. So again, the peaks are just that determined. I can even get the exact one where operations has set it for this year, so that we can include as follow-up. But that's going to be kind of that 2-week time frame, end of December into beginning of January. The shoulder is just based on how the pricing tends to be and how the demand falls. So that's just how we broke down the season so that you're able to have that price range of when you are quoting or promoting this product.
So Miss Beverly is asking a very, very, very important question that we didn't touch on. I can't believe we forgot this.
Ooh,
The
sorry,
commission, the commission.
Oh, of course. Yes, everything commissionable, all destinations, all products at 10%. So like you saw in those average rates, definitely something that worth, converting because it is, 10%.
And then the deposit is 35%, right?
35%. Yes, correct. Another added value to working with you, the advisor, when booking direct, it's a 50% deposit, final payment due 190 days prior. So if they are booking last minute, we are looking at that full payment for the deposit or confirmation.
And to confirm, there's no minimum or maximum age, right?
There is not. Nope. I just like to emphasize that if they do have a crew or a skipper, they do not provide any type of babysitting, nanny service by any means whatsoever. So if the guests, if the parents are willing to bring their 3-month, 6-month, however old, absolutely they are welcome. I also give the example. I think the youngest I've seen or heard was around 7 to 8 months, and the oldest was in the early 80s. So there is, there is range.
Okay. Does the Moorings manage any part of the land itinerary, like a DMC in each destination?
We do not. We refer you to your preferred DMC to help organize those. It's more focused on the yacht charter experience.
And then she's asking, all the pricing is net on what we offer. Net pricing?
We do both net and gross.
Okay. All right. Ms. Jennifer is asking about finding images and videos for social media posts. We'll share
have that available. Yeah. We have a portal available.
So we'll get that over to you guys as well, so you can get some of that information. Any opportunities to tour yachts? I'm thinking at boat shows.
Oh, that's actually a great point that I did forget to mention as well. So thank you for whoever reminded us there. Yes, we do have boat shows in Annapolis, Miami, for Lauderdale and West Palm Beach that we have yachts on display. So a great experience to come literally hop on board and really see that catamaran feel and experience. So if you're not in the area, but your clients are, definitely let us know. We can still get tickets for them as well. And if you're ever in one of our destinations, definitely let us know as well, because then we can try to arrange for you to come to the marina, do a little site visit, yacht tour on a couple of the models. So just try to let us know when you do have those dates planned so we can look into that.
All right. Miss Stacy is asking about how we work with agents who have a host agency. I'm going to guess that's specifically in terms of commission.
I'm not sure I'm understanding correctly, but in that sense, we don't price compete with ourselves. So we're offering everyone the same rate. And going back to, your preferred DMC, your preferred way of booking. We want ultimately for you to book with the Moorings and for your clients to enjoy a Moorings Charter experience. So however you have worked before, however you prefer, we welcome all partners. So again, the pricing everyone receives will be the same.
And with a host agency, when agent has to register with us in order to get the commission? I think that's the process she's asking about.
So I mean, it's very simple, pretty much, to kind of get you set up. We would just need tax information, so a W-9, and then banking information. This base, yes, to the host agency, if that's where payment is being made. That's the information we would be collecting to be your profile, if you will.
Okay. All right. We had one more question come in. Hold on. Does the mooring still sail out of Captiva?
We do not. No. We are coming back to La Paz, so that's very exciting. And then there's some words of maybe another destination that would be in the Mediterranean. Still exciting news, too soon to tell, but yes, La Paz is coming back, so that's very exciting.
All right, awesome. Last question. Do you have to have an IATA number in order to be registered as a travel advisor with us to make the booking?
No, we would just need, again, that formal W-9, confirmation, but you do not need an IATA.
Okay, I lied. Last question.
Has been.
How far in advance would any of the advisors need to get in touch to do a tour of the yacht at one of our boat shows that we're attending?
Oh, at the boat shows, I mean, I would say at least, a 24, 48-hour notice if you're able to.
And you
But
can
yeah,
always reach out to your BDMs and say, hey,
yeah.
could you guys get me in so I could look at, tour some of the yachts? So just that BDM list, save it. So if you are going to be in an area where the moorings will be exhibiting, just contact one of us and we'll go from there and we get you on the boat. Okay, I think I got all the questions answered. So Paula, thank you very, very, very much.
It
This
was my
great
pleasure.
presentation. I learned some extra things.
Oh, great. So
Your
I did my
presentation.
job.
So thank you so much. As I mentioned at the top of the webinar, this is our last one because we're going on a little summer hiatus. I'm going on vacation. So we'll have more great content coming your guys' way through tasks and more new things I'm working on for the fall as well, just to kind of keep you abreast and informed and in touch with all of your suppliers to get all of your needs met. So thank you guys. We did record this, so look out for the recording. It'll hit your inbox probably tonight, if not tonight, early tomorrow. And thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next session. Thanks again, Paula.
Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. Have a
good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What she said? Can we include the list of boat shows? Okay.